Well, hello and welcome to Astrology Breakdown with my psychic connection. I am Squirrel and I have with me here today my beautiful co-host Innerji, the metaphysical crone. Hi, Innerji.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing great. How about you?
Yes, I'm so excited to be here and talk about astrology a little bit more.
Oh gosh, and there's lots going on today. A lot of Capricorn energy in the sky right now and fixing to be a little bit more. I'm gonna break that down and then we will go on and talk about something near and dear to your heart. So
Ah,
I'm gonna just tell everything in the sky right now, and we will go through the show explaining what it means, how you can use it, and all that good stuff. If you guys have any questions, be sure to start typing them in. And right now we have the sun, we have a full stellium. We've got the sun, Pluto, Mars, and the moon in Capricorn. And Sagittarius and Venus right now. Wait, Sagittarius and Venus? No, Mercury and Venus right now are in Sagittarius. Mercury will be joining the Capricorn crew for a five planet stellium on the 13th around 10:30 p.m. Eastern. So right now he's still in Sagittarius. We've also got Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, and we have Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is the only planet retrograde right now. It's been retrograde since August 28th of 2023, and it will continue to be retrograde until January 30th, 2025. So long retrograde, so don't worry about it too much. It's one of those outer planets. It does affect global scale and generational. It's a very generational retrograde. So we can bring energy back and we'll talk about what all of that means.
wow, there's so much going on. I mean, a stellium for me always means super extra energy for that particular sign that the planets are in. And with that stellium, we're going to be practical. But you know what I'm really excited about? There are a lot of aspects between Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn, and they're all positive. That's what I really love about it. So I feel like starting off the year, we're coming from a space of real positivity. And I wanted to start off talking about Mars trining Jupiter. What's a trine? It means that they're in harmony. It means they get along. And so with that Mars in Jupiter, it's action around the big ideas. It's also action around what might be adventurous for you as well, because Mars is that fire warrior energy, and Jupiter has that energy of expansion, exploring, taking the adventure. So I really am enjoying that energy at the moment. And of course, with Mars being in Capricorn and the Sun being in Capricorn, they're both in that cardinal earth energy as well. So again, with that cardinal energy, that taking a straight line, going in that direction, moving out, and that earth energy of practicality. So it's all about getting the practical things done. How do you see it, Squirrel?
Oh, I see it. I do believe that Mars is exalted in Capricorn. Like it really likes being there. And what that means is like each planet has rulerships and it likes being in rulership. You love the place you rule, right? But exalted is like an honored guest. And sometimes when your places that you rule, your home, you kind of walk around in your slippers, you kind of relax, not everybody's jumping to do your bidding because it's like, oh, it's you. We live here. I know you, mom. Right? But when you're an honored guest, everybody's like, would you like some wine? Would you like some steak? Would you like a better pillow? So it really, every planet loves being exalted. It's almost as good or better than rulership. So Mars in Capricorn is a very powerful force, that cardinality, that ambition. And also, it can be negative in ways of anything can be negative. It can have quite the temper. It can bark hard, and it will bite. It will bite. But on the positive side, it really gets things going. It gets things moving. That Mars in Capricorn can really help you get your goals in order, and not only just get them in order, but being trying to that Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter is an expansion of more of being lucky in, and Taurus has that we're going to get it done, that fixed energy that says we are going to keep doing this. And Kate D says, isn't being exalted like being at grandma's house? Yes,
Absolutely.
great, exactly, you're spoiled. But that Taurus energy and Jupiter will ground it so you can get started in this time with that trine and really say, okay, this is what I want my long term goals to be. And you have the energy to push start it, and you have that beautiful trine to Taurus Jupiter that gives you the stamina to keep going with it. Then we are not going to give up for anything. I love that tribe. I'm
It's
glad.
a beautiful trine, and it's so highly energetic. And Emma Rose says, so I heard there's a new moon in Capricorn on the 11th. What does that mean for me, given how my moon is in Capricorn in my 11th house, and my 11th house cusp is in Capricorn. So Capricorn's on the 11th house. Yeah, look, that was one of the things we wanted to talk about tonight, wasn't it, Squirrel? Was this
Yes.
new moon in Capricorn. Now, in astrological terms, it's called detriment, which means generally the moon isn't happy in Capricorn. But we were having this big discussion before the show, because we love talking astrology, how that, detriment doesn't always mean negative. The moon being in Capricorn in detriment, and I'm quoting Miss Skwirl here because she said it so wisely, it's in detriment around our emotions, but it's a strong moon when it comes to what Capricorn is all about: ambition, career. And Jody Ryan says, not us, lol.
That's why we should just start recording before the show.
Have such interesting conversations. And of course, the new moon is about new beginnings. It's about starting something, setting intentions. And I particularly love this new moon in Capricorn because it happens at the start of a calendar year. So I feel like there's extra energy. Now, the issue with the new year is we do our New Year's resolutions, but we quickly forget about them. And so I feel that with this particular Mars in Capricorn, it gives us the impetus to really have the fire to take that warrior stance and push it forward a little bit more, so that we don't forget about the New Year's resolutions quite so quickly. The new moon is wonderful. I enjoy all the moon phases. And Squirrel, you're a moon phase person as well, aren't you?
I am. I can't see them in picture form, though. It's like my left and my right. Nope. But yes, I am. So,
yeah, I can confuse you even further, because here in the southern hemisphere, the symbol of the moon is two crescent moons facing like that, and then we have the full moon in the middle. But here in Australia, because everything is backwards here, our crescents are that way, not that way. They're facing out, not in.
like
Facing in, not out, sorry. They're back to front when you visually look at them in the sky.
You're just like me now.
So,
I'm so glad you brought that up about New Year's resolutions, because I don't think there could be a more powerful new moon for a New Year's resolution. And I've had 9, 10 now. It is 10 days to get on my New Year's resolution. And I have totally dropped the ball. I have not done it once. It is a simple resolution. I didn't go all out. I want to lose 60 pounds, or I want to, you know, rule the world, or, resolutions can be hard and we bite off more than we can chew. My simple resolution is to remember, eat or drink 3 meals a day. That's it. I haven't done it yet. Right. So with this Capricorn moon, knowing that I've got all that power behind me, not only that, starting ignition, the starting gun just is going off, then that all that Capricorn energy and trying to the staying power, maybe I will actually eat 3 meals a day this year. It's not.
I think it's possible. I think it's possible. And that's what I love about this Mars energy, because it is a warrior energy. Now, I know Mars rules Aries, and I've just gone blank on what else it rules, but that's okay. We'll focus on Mars ruling Aries, because people think, it's like, the rocket to the moon and it's done, fire off and it's done. But I find with Mars in Capricorn, that energy is lengthened over time, because Capricorn with that Earth energy slows Mars down a little bit. It doesn't change its trajectory about setting your intentions and what you want, but it slows it down and it makes it more ordered. It makes it more practical. It brings up what can I say? It kind of brings up the boundaries around it, so it doesn't fizzle out too soon like a firework.
Beautiful, beautifully said. And the other rulership of Mars, you have it.
Of course,
Scorpio.
Scorpio. Honestly,
I hate it when my brain does that.
Yeah. My brain's in heat mode at the moment. We're frying over here.
And Emma says, yeah, I hear how you use the new moon will greatly affect all the astrological chaos going on in April. LOL. Yes, definitely use this new moon to the full advantage. And Emma says, my Mars is in Sagittarius. LOL. Oh, Emma. That's
fired up.
Yes. But you had a great deal that you wanted to say about that new moon. I was really excited to hear it. I would love to hear more that you would like to say about that.
Okay, well, I'm a person who follows the phases of the moon as part of, I use the word belief system, you loosely, philosophy, if you like. And so when I look at a new moon, I see it as a beginning. I see it as something new. I see it as the possibility of clearing the slate of the old that I've already let go of. I'm not clearing anything. I'm not releasing now. I've already done that. And it's almost like I have a blank canvas to set new intentions when it comes up to the time of the new moon. And of course, when we have a new moon, we know that they're next to each other in the sky. The sun and the moon are next to each other. It's called a conjunction. And that conjunction means that their energies are blended as opposed to fighting each other. But there is an energy imbalance that can happen there. But with this new moon, I see this blending of the energy of the sun in Capricorn and the moon in Capricorn. And it's almost like, how can I put it? With this new moon, it's more focusing on what you want to achieve, what you want to do, as opposed to how you want to feel. Because the moon doesn't just represent our emotions, it also represents our reaction to something, our instinctual reaction. So with that sun in Capricorn, it brings in that instinctual energy of, what do I want to do next? What's this new thing that I want to start? And that's what I like about that new moon. Now, with the Capricorn energy, it's about career. It's about work. We were talking to Journey earlier, and he was really focusing in on finances, and I agree with him wholeheartedly that this is a great time to start your budget, do the planning, start taking step by step. The other thing I love about Capricorn is its practicality. There are no daydreams here. There's no wishing and hoping. It's what can I in reality actually do, as opposed to what I'm dreaming about. So that's a really interesting one, because the moon on one level is in detriment. It's supposedly not happy in Capricorn. But I'll tell you what, that Capricorn energy brings out the power for us to set intentions to achieve with this new moon energy. Do you use the new moon at all to do things, Squirrel?
I definitely, I'm on the same page with you with the new moon about bringing new things in, and the full moon for being able to see all the BS and everything going on and getting rid of things. But there are a lot of practitioners who believe differently. They see it the opposite. And that's pretty confusing for a new practitioner. They're like, I don't know what magic is, right? And Journey says, using the logical mind at this time. Oh, heck yeah, the
Yes,
logical
yes,
mind.
yes, head
The
over heart.
the best advice I have for new people learning not astrology per se, but the moon phases and the moon magic. There are a great many different uh, ways of doing things out there. And everybody is going to say, mine is the only way. Mine is the right way. You're doing it wrong if you're not doing it my way. That's bullshit. If it works for you, if it makes sense to you, it does not make sense to me to use the new moon to push things away. It makes sense to me to use that as a new beginning, to start something, to become something. It's a metamorphosis. It truly is. That the moon has gone into hiding to come back to be something grand and beautiful. To me, that makes sense. Start something new. If it doesn't make sense to you, it does not mean you're wrong. It means you've got to do the best magic you can do with what works for you. Don't let You want to listen to a lot of different people, but you don't want to let other people tell you how to do your own magic. You want to go through life saying, that makes sense or that doesn't make sense. And if you're true to yourself, you will have the strongest magic there is for you. Okay, rant over. Sorry.
No, I so agree. I so agree. Emma Rose says, how do you manifest with a Capricorn moon? Look, it's asking how long is a piece of string. It's different for everyone. I have my own ways that I do. Other people have their ways. But if you wanted to manifest something with this new moon in Capricorn, then look at what Capricorn is about. It's about work and career. It's about money and finances. I would even bring in there how you want to be perceived in public, because the sign of Capricorn is about public recognition and achievement. So if you want to be seen in a particular way, then you can manifest that now. And Kate says there's a lot of purging going on right now. Everyone is saying they are throwing and consolidating. Well, I'm not sure about throwing, and that's a personal opinion, but the consolidating with Capricorn it's a consolidating energy. It's an earth energy. When we think about the earth, it's compressed energy. It's physical energy. It's a slower energy. So I can understand what you're saying about that. But with this new moon, it's where we focus our intention, where we focus our energy and our mind. And the new moon is about focusing the energy and our mind on what it is that we want to begin. What do we want to bring in if you want to take a more receptive approach? Because Capricorn has a negative polarity. What does that fancy name mean? It means you draw things in. And then with that Mars in Capricorn, it's pushing it out. So it's almost like you get the balance of both. You have to make an effort, but you also have to wait to allow it to come to you because of that slower earth energy. That's what I see with that. I hope that helps.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that made a lot of sense. That was really well put. And as you were speaking there too, and with the question that Kate just had, um, some people assume that just because a planet is in a sign or things are going around on, they assume that we automatically know. It's like, okay, this is the energies that everybody understands that energy. The good thing about knowing the moon phases, the good thing about knowing astrology at all, or being able to talk to somebody about it, is so we have this new moon in Capricorn. We know that this new moon is great for manifesting, but that's about what you get with a lot of other people. Oh, go manifest. This way, when you talk to an astrologer or you know astrology, you know the direction the energy needs to go in. You, like all of you here tonight, either knew it beforehand as astrologers or are just finding out this direction is great for consolidating your future, for doing practical things to make your life better. There are other new moons that are better for bringing in creativity or bringing in whimsical, magic. But this is not one of them. So there are probably hundreds, maybe thousands and millions of people out there right now saying, well, I'm going to use this new Capricorn moon to manifest bringing more magic into my life or being more creative, like I just said. And will it work? Yes, but it will not be as strong as using the energy that is there at our disposal to use. That's the main thing. It's not how do you manifest, because this energy said everyone manifests differently. It's what direction do I take with this manifestation to use this moon to its fullest ability?
Exactly, exactly. And Kate says, good time to make your yearly vision board. Yes, that is one way to manifest. I actually use tarot decks to manifest. I use them as a manifestation tool. And Emma Rose says, I hear writing your desires into existence definitely helps with new moons, especially. I'm a firm believer in writing things down because you're actually putting the intention and the thought tangibly external to yourself.
And my mom, she does that all the time. And she says she doesn't do magic. But if she says, I want this, and she writes it down, she by God gets it. And
Yeah.
Karina says, I find that very cool using the star sign traits of the new moon to aid in manifestation and growing with the new moon. Yes.
Absolutely. And Karina says, love this. And Karina, what you said, I love what you said at the end. Growing with the new moon. They're not static. They're not static pictures in the sky. The new moon, we don't actually see the new moon because there's no light shining on it from the sun. And so when it starts to form and we start to see that first sliver of crescent light, then that's when we see things starting to manifest. That's when we see the intentions starting to, dare I use the pun, come to light. So what you said about growing with the moon. So one way you can use the new moon is if you want to set an intention between this new moon and before the next one begins for, say, a month, like 28, 29, and however many hours, then you can do it for that period of time. There is a belief out there in some schools of thought that when you start set an intention for one new moon, that intention lasts for 6 months. I personally haven't experienced it. I put a question mark on it because if I haven't experienced it myself, I'm not necessarily going to take it on board until I play with it. But I always like to use the new moon as a way of setting my intentions for the coming month. And then the next new moon, because in the next new moon, which will be in Aquarius, I will set my intentions using the energy of Aquarius with the new moon. And that's how I work it. That's just one way.
I love that. And again, you sparked something in my head when you were talking about the way the light grows. Journey had said something earlier, well, pre-show that just really, um, it was, I, I'm wowed. I love the way he said it. I can't find the word for it. He struck me speechless. Journey, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I would
I
like
was
to
actually going to chime in right before you said something too,
before
because
I slaughter it.
no, not before you slaughter it, is that a lot of people don't take in the energy that's coming from the sun. So if the sun, let's say the sun's in Cancer, but the moon is in Capricorn, and you can see that we've got a full moon, but Cancer shining on that Capricorn. Remember that more energy is being mixed. So now you're mixing that Capricorn with Cancer. It's not that direct sign. It is a mixture of two signs versus one sign. They're pulling on each other.
Yeah,
The
they're
sun
in
is reflecting
opposition.
off the moon.
And you
And there's
had
that
said
push
that
pull between them.
Mm-hmm.
the sun or the moon is at its strongest when it is dark because it's truly and fully the moon. When
Yes.
it's full, it is a reflection of the moon is what we're seeing. And that just made me, it like just emphasized how powerful the new moon is for me.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
loved the way you put that.
And it
Okay.
made so much sense. It made
He
so
took
much
over.
sense, Journey.
He's like,
He's playing pop-ups tonight. But it made so much sense. And when you think that when we've got the sun and the moon in the same sign sitting on top of each other, then when we look at that energy, like for Capricorn, that's a double whammy. Now, if we look at the sun is considered, I use these terms loosely, but the sun is considered a more masculine planet, not in terms of gender, but in terms of outward energy. The moon is considered a more feminine, well, actually, I should say luminary for both of them, but the moon is considered a more feminine one. So this is more receptive. So when they're together, we've got outward energy and inward energy. And I think of it in the terms of yin yang, a little bit of each in the other.
yeah, yeah. And I, again, when you said luminary, it made me think. So Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, and the other outer planets, they are considered planets. The sun and the moon are what's called luminaries. They're not planets, but they are the closest things to us. They're the most important things. And all the planets have rulerships. They have a feminine rulership and a masculine rulership. We use the Mars earlier as an example. Mars for masculine, the outward, is Aries rulership. And for the feminine, it's Scorpio, the inward turned rulership. So the sun and the moon, the sun being masculine and the moon feminine, they only have one rulership. They do not rule two zodiac signs. They only rule, the sun rules Leo and the moon rules Cancer, and that's it. That's very strong. It's not divided. It is full on just one thing. And I know I say nothing is just one thing, but that's pretty focused.
And that buys into what Journey was saying as well, because the sun is only ever masculine, the moon is only ever feminine. They can't swap with each other. So when they get to a new moon and they're conjunct, I see that as really powerful, because it's a bringing together of what would be considered opposite polarities. And
Yes.
that's pretty special.
So would that make it a non-binary star?
That was good.
I'm
I
sorry.
love it.
Astrology joke.
That was good astrology humor.
I love it. Got to write that one down. Put it on
Yeah.
Skwirl's next show.
Yeah, I need to tell Marty that one. But that's not to say, okay, so that the sun is the sun, it's masculine, and the moon is the moon, it's feminine. But say we've got the moon in Sagittarius or the moon in Leo, it will have some masculine flavor to it because it is Leo, it is Sagittarius, it is whatever masculine sign it is, but the moon still remains feminine. It will just have that just a little bit of coating of masculine.
Well, the planets, whether it be sun, moon, or whatever, they are influenced by the sign in which they are transiting. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, that's why I was saying Mars in Capricorn, while it's a fiery energy and it's a warrior energy, but it's also a very structured energy. It's a little bit contained in terms of that cardinal earth energy as well. So there's a more of a structure to it. Whereas Mars in Sagittarius, it's like, let's just have the fireworks display and go. Oh, look at that. It's all done.
So Mars itself would be like, or like Mars in Aries would be like the Celts and just all out warfare and just total chaos on the battlefield. Where Mars in Capricorn would be the Romans and the lockstep and the shields and the
Yes.
spears and sorry, y'all, I do have a military mind.
No, that's a perfect analogy, because it's like a battle plan versus there's the enemy, let's go get them.
And Mars in Scorpio is the ambush.
Yes,
So
yeah.
Emma says, yes, and my Mars is in Sagittarius and it's also in my 10th house. Oh,
Mm,
interesting. Interesting. That
yeah,
some of these charts I just want to dive into. It's like
I know.
all of them.
I know.
All of
I can spend hours just on like one house and what planet is in there and what sign it's in without even looking at the rest of the chart.
it. Yes, yes. Oh, yes. One day we'll have to talk about houses. Just explain what the
Yes,
houses and everything.
yes.
Yeah,
Because
we
when we're
probably
talking
wouldn't
about,
get to all of them, but
yeah, but we could work our way through. I mean, the thing about the houses, we don't talk about them much when we're talking about the transits, because depending on where you are in the world, the planet can be in a different house in the same sign, but in a different house between Australia and the US. And so that's why we're doing transits. We don't talk about what houses the planets are in for that
yeah.
reason. I think I've explained that okay.
So
Yeah, oh, go ahead.
sorry, I just want to add this little tidbit since you're talking about houses and the things going on here. When we were talking about the moon and how it's going from, a new moon, and then all of a sudden we got a little sliver, we got another little sliver. Just think about how much of that sun energy and what sign that sun energy is how much more we're adding to that. So we're adding to how much stronger and how it's being overshadowed of what sign it was, because it's no longer that sign. It's a mixture of the both. And what's going to happen too is that the sun is going to amplify the moon, meaning it amplifies that emotion. But what emotion is it bringing out? And that usually is indicated by the sun. It is not indicated by the moon. So, whatever emotion is the weakest in the sun, the moon amplifies that.
That is so
Yes,
true.
the moon is
I,
all about the emotion and the subconscious. Yep.
Figure I'd throw that in there just to add more to the 4 million things you guys are thinking of right now.
And
I
that
love it.
brings up a good point too. I mean, y'all are sparking everything in my head. I'm probably driving y'all crazy because I'm just like, and this, and this, and this. Gemini moon. Um,
Gemini moon.
but the day that the moon is a new moon in Capricorn, the moon will move to Aquarius that night. And a new moon is in effect for 3 days, 2.5 to 3 days, depending on the movement of the moon. Now, a lot of people have asked me if the new moon moves into another sun sign, like immediately after the new moon, even on the same day, is that new moon still in effect in Capricorn or will it be in Aquarius? It will still be a new moon in Capricorn. It will for the next 3 days. And it'll be in Pisces by the time it's no longer a new moon in Capricorn. However, you will still be able to utilize any Aquarius energy that you might need for that new moon in Capricorn because the Aquarius energy will also be strong. Hope I didn't confuse anybody there, but it will still be a Capricorn moon or
Yeah,
new
I
moon.
agree with that.
Yeah.
And Emma
And
Rose
Emma
says, and also,
Rose, oh, go ahead.
go ahead. Emma
So
Rose
then
says, and also
also,
my
And,
one,
uh,
two,
and also,
three.
my Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, and Sun are all in Gemini.
Wowie.
that
There's a
was mutable.
trifecta.
That was a show of mutable energy squaring mutable energy. You first know, you first know, you first.
Oh, we're
Very
so
cool to
adaptable and
say.
flexible. The other thing I wanted to say about the moon in general is that when the sun gives its light to the moon, remember the moon is always reflecting the light of the sun. It is not reflecting its own light. It has no light of its own. It's always a reflection of the sun. So for me, following on from what Joni said, when I see the sun in Capricorn, and we get to that full moon stage, if it's, say it's a full moon in Capricorn, then I would say that the influence of the sun, the moon is reflecting that Capricorn energy to us. Does that
So
make
does
sense?
that mean like the moon is Apollo's mirror?
Oh, now that's an interesting way of saying it. Love it.
And we got Emma Rose. She says, as you can see, I have one wild birth chart. Oh, yes. Yes. And Kate, go ahead and read Kate.
Okay, Kate says, Sag Sun, Gemini Moon, crazy ADHD. Hey, I'm with you, girl. I am Sag Sun and Gemini Moon. Look out.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Kate. We got to start a club. We do have a Gemini Moon club. We do.
Yes.
I'm a Gemini Moon. Innergy's a Gemini Moon.
Yeah.
Cassidy's a Gemini Moon.
Yeah.
We have you, Kate, honorary. Well, not honorary. You are a Gemini Moon. You're in the club.
Part of the club. Part of the club.
I think Kay is also a Gemini moon as well.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. Man, Gemini Moon. It rules.
It's so popular.
I must have a thing with Geminis. I just don't get it.
No, you get a lot of us. A whole lot of us.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure we drive you nuts with all our chatter. Because we can be quite chatty. You just need to talk.
The cancer in me takes care of all that.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, come on. You got that Gemini Venus. So you get us. You get us. You just love us.
Yeah, you do. Nemero said, and also my Jupiter return is this year too. Yay. I had a great Jupiter return. I got married.
Oh. And Karina says, yep. Oh, I know that the Saturn return takes forever. It's like what, every 24 years? How often is the Jupiter return? Like every 13 years?
29 for Jupiter. Yeah, because I was 29 when I had my... No, sorry, not Jupiter. Wake up, Leslie. Not Jupiter, Saturn return. My Saturn return.
Saturn, 29. And Jupiter should be less years because it
less,
moves
yes.
faster.
Is
so
it 12
I'm waiting for a Jupiter return.
I can't remember. And Emma says, my Jupiter is in my 4th house. So, interesting.
Ooh.
Around family and home, expansion, the past.
Yeah. Now,
kind of thing.
You mentioned some other aspects up there. Karina's a Gemini moon.
Yay! Welcome to the club.
There it is. Instant connection to y'all.
You know what this means? We're going to have to start clubs for everybody's moon, wherever it is in the sign.
Everybody's going to be in the Gemini Moon Club.
Let's do
everybody.
Oh,
That's
dear.
funny. And Mercury in your 4th house as well. That means your sun is in your 3rd, 5th, or 4th house. And yeah, I did that out of order, but math is not my strong point.
Mine not. Isn't it interesting? We both don't have maths as a strong point, yet we do astrology. It's a challenge.
Oh, seriously, Innerji. I was asked again and again to learn astrology by my instructor, and I kept saying no. I am not smart enough. I really, truly did not think I could retain the information or do the math. And he hounded me like, please, you were born to be an astrologer. And I finally did it. And I think it's the only thing I can retain.
It's really funny you say that. I went to a psychic, I'm going back like 30 years ago, and she said to me, you need to be doing something with your psychic abilities around numbers, either numerology or astrology. And I went, numbers? Astrology? Oh, no. What do I do now?
Oh, my gosh.
So she was accurate. It just took me 30 years to get there.
You need to go find her and let her know.
Yeah, exactly. But you were talking about more... You were talking about more transits, weren't you? Have we talked about Jupiter sextile Saturn yet?
No, we have not. We have not.
This is another really positive one. I'm really enjoying the positives for the start of the year with these transits and aspects at the moment. You know, Jupiter sextile Saturn. So there's opportunities for success, lots of opportunities for success with that Jupiter energy, that outward energy, that optimistic. There is optimism here. What can I do as opposed to what can't I do? And seeing the adventure in it. And then sextile Saturn. Sextile means that there's opportunities. There's opportunities between the two planets. But what Saturn does, Saturn, a bit like Capricorn, brings in a measured, structured approach to it. That's what I really like about this sextile. And it's almost like you can achieve, but you need to know what your boundaries are. You need to know what steps. And when I've been looking at these transits, I'm seeing overlapping interpretations that are similar. And that to me adds to the energy of the transits at the moment. I feel that this can bring in a very positive energy. Now, people hate this word, self-discipline. But it does bring in a level of self-discipline, but in its most positive aspect, as opposed to that self-discipline that says, oh, I've got to go to work this morning, or I've got to do this. This is more like, yes, I am disciplined because I want this to happen. So that's, yeah, it's really good energy for that. What do you think?
I absolutely love that. And one of the things I'm seeing here too is Saturn is in Pisces. And Saturn generally does not like being in Pisces. Saturn is all about responsibilities and moving forward and limitations. And Pisces is more about the creative aspect, and it's kind of all over the place. But with this trine, I'm seeing that drive forward, that responsibility, those structures helping with the creativity. Because I don't know about y'all, but I am common sense and logic are not my strong points in every day-to-day life. I'm a dreamer. I am a creative. I am somebody who likes to chase those dreams. But with this beautiful trine, with that Mars in Capricorn to Saturn in Pisces, maybe it's showing us a way to put structure into our creativity, not to make it less creative, but to make it something we can actually do that would show us some sort of profit, whether that profit is monetary or whether that profit is inside growth. I love that trine. I'm usually the first to bitch about Saturn and Pisces, but with that trine, I'm like, ooh, this is nice, especially with it also being tied to Jupiter in Taurus. It's like finding that beautiful way to make the creativity work for me. Does that make sense? I know I just got really excited there.
No, because, and that's why I'm loving these particular three aspects, because they're kind of all, even though each is a separate aspect, it's almost like they're gelling together energetically as well. It's almost like layers of the same thing. Like for me, that Jupiter in Taurus that is sextile Saturn in Pisces, Jupiter, whilst it's expansive and adventurous and optimistic and let's see what we can do, Taurus brings in the practicality of it. It makes Jupiter more practical.
Like the best mix ever.
Yeah, yeah. And then Saturn in Pisces, Pisces says to Saturn, hey, loosen up a little bit. Yes, we need structure and we need step by step and we need self-discipline, but let's be creative about it. Let's be creative with our self-discipline. And Jupiter's saying, yeah, and let's get out there. And Taurus is saying, yeah, but let's be practical about it. I love that combo. As you can tell, I'm quite excited. I think you're on mute, squirrel.
I knew that. I was testing you. Oh, that's why I love doing this with you. And even like all the time, anytime, but pre-show, seriously. Oh, we should like put muzzles on so we can save all the good stuff for the show. Not that I get excited. We get excited. Journey gets excited. And it's not this is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is that, and nobody understands what the hell you're saying. We get excited about it. We talk about it. We share it. I just love this. And I learn so much from both of you when we are together because you say it in ways that maybe I thought about that, or maybe I never thought about that. And you say something, and I'm like, oh, damn. Oh, wow. I get that with you two all the time. And with the audience questions, I don't know. I love it here.
It's such a wonderful space for all of us, for for you, me, Journey, but also for the people who come in and watch the show and interact with us, because it's your questions, your interaction that does spark us. What people need to remember, whether it's astrology, whether it's tarot, numerology, whatever it is, yes, we have kind of the basic premise of what we learn. We have the facts of what we learn. But when you're interpreting something, it is a melding of the knowledge, the theory, if you like, the factual parts with the intuition. That is what creates the interpretation. And that's why I love talking with you and Journey, and I love interacting with everyone's questions here.
And Kate says, I have a goofy Uranus sun conjunct, born to be an astrologer. Hey, Karina, go ahead.
And Karina says, yes, I can feel this. And for me, it's a nice change, isn't it? I mean, think of all those retrogrades that we've had for months and months and months. And it's almost like suddenly sort of like things have lightened up. I know things in the world necessarily haven't lightened up yet, but I feel the energy is lighter than it has been.
And usually Capricorn is a heavy energy, but I think
Yeah.
with those trines and those sextiles, it's a lot different. And can you bring Karina's comment back up, please? Karina says, yes, very grateful. And
Aww.
thank you all for sharing. Thank you for
Oh,
being
you're
here,
so
all of you.
welcome. Love your input. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. And Karina says, yes, 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 yes.
And you said something that made my mind race in one corner, and then you said something that brought it away. So I'm trying to remember what I was remembering when you said what you said, and now I'm confused.
Uh,
And
Emma
Emma
Rose
said,
asks,
go
go
ahead.
on, you do this one. You do this one.
How is Jupiter entering Gemini this year going to affect me, who has a major stellium in Gemini, along with it also being a Jupiter return for me as well? Well, Emma, there's a long, like wide array. Like the color red, there's a full spectrum. You can have bright red, you can have light red, you can have 872 shades of red in between, probably more. So this could either, on full spectrum from one end to another, make you a teetotal mess where you don't know what you're doing because you're trying to run around chasing every new idea down. That is a very, very dangerous thing for a lot of like Gemini energy. And Jupiter going into Gemini is going to expand that Gemini energy. It's going to make it larger than life. So if you can pay attention and make sure that you're not dropping everything, like starting, stopping. Ooh, this looks more interesting. But if you can actually focus on, take the time to see what's important to you, on the ideas that really mean something to you, and focus on them. Jupiter going into Gemini with that Jupiter return and that full stellium could be an amazing year for you of high energy. Take time to rest, take time to breathe, because Gemini energy doesn't quit. So you will have to take some time out, but it could be an amazing year of accomplishment and joy for you. You just have to take the time to make sure that the ideas that you are following through with are the ideas that actually mean something to you. Okay.
Yeah, I so agree with that. It's sort of like, don't take this the wrong way, the way I'm going to say this, but it's like, oh, there's a shiny thing. Oh, I like that. Oh, there's a shiny. It's like me with crystals. Oh, look at that crystal. Oh, look at that crystal. And so what you can do is you can get yourself burned out quite quickly and quite easily, because with that, all of that Jupiter energy, you just want to be out there. You don't want boundaries of any kind. And Gemini hates boundaries. That Gemini energy doesn't like boundaries either, because that's That's the energy of exploration. So is Jupiter. And Emma Rose says that's what the Capricorn new moon is for. Yes, yes, absolutely. Draw that energy in.
You got that. And Kate, oh, go ahead and take this question.
Okay,
I
Kate
do
says,
have something to say about that, though. But you go first.
I don't have a lot to say about that. I'll tell you why in a minute. Are we really at the age of Aquarius with Pluto ingress into Aquarius? I'm going to give you my one-word answer. For me, from my personal perspective, no.
That's a really big debate in the astrological world. There are people saying we're still in the age of Pisces. There was a song written in the 70s that this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. It's a really big debate. I don't think anybody really knows. So I won't pretend to know the answer about that, but from the looks of things, we're still in the age of Pisces.
And you would be correct. We're still in the age of Pisces because the math doesn't add up yet. We're not quite there.
That's like thousands of years for an age. Yeah.
And also, too,
like
as
100 years.
Also, too, as we change ages, or I like to call it epoch, because when I use the word epoch is a fancy word for saying it's an age, but I get that sense of longevity of time reaching out as opposed to something quick. And in terms of where we're at as individuals on the planet, just like the outer planets for me don't have a huge impact on me personally because they're about world events, they're generational. I feel the same way about what age we're in, age of Aquarius, age of Pisces. Does it really make a difference to me in how I live my life day to day? Personally, for me, I don't feel that sense at all. And that's why I came back with no, it doesn't affect. But that's only my opinion. There are, as Skwirl said, many opinions, many thoughts out there. And that's going really more into what I would say is real esoteric astrology, as opposed to how we can use astrology proactively and effectively in our day-to-day lives.
Yeah. I prefer to focus on the day-to-day life. Though I do believe very strongly that Pluto it's been playing with Capricorn and Aquarius. I don't know how many times, like 6 or 7 times, that it's retrograded, then gone back, retrograde, gone back. And I don't believe it's until sometime this year where it finally goes direct and stays direct in Aquarius. I do believe that is going to bring in a new era, maybe not a new age like Age of Aquarius, but I do believe that the corporate way of things is going to, right now it's going back and forth. They're fighting for their way of being still corporations. I think that will slowly over time, because Pluto will be in Aquarius for a good 20 years at least. It's going to go less toward the corporate. The corporations will start losing their rights as individuals, and the people will be more in control of economy. I really do feel that.
Yeah, and we can kind of see that transitioning at the moment. I mean, there is a whole, as Skwirl has spoken about before, there are many different types of astrology that we can look at out there. And when we're looking at global events, when we're looking at the long term, we're looking at a type of astrology that's called mundane astrology. And so we're looking at generational, we're looking at broadly, we're looking at the history of the world as well as the potential future of the world on a global scale as opposed to a personal scale. And so that's why I personally don't go there very often.
Yeah, very rarely. I do only go into those outer planets if they are changing sign, especially with Pluto going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's been a tug of war with we the people and the corporations globally, much globally. Look at the economy, the state it's in right now. It's a battle for all of us just to live day to day. So once Pluto goes forward and stays forward direct, I think we'll be doing a lot better.
So to talk about the age of Pisces and when it started at 1 AD. It takes 4,000 years for us to go through the age of Pisces. So we will not be out of Pisces until 2150.
Wow.
So we
Thank
will
you,
not live
Joni.
to see the age of Aquarius.
Oh my gosh. So this is how bad I am at math. I'm like, aren't we past 2150? Because I saw the 2 and the 4.
Wow, you're jumping us ahead in time. Damn.
And I have to say, with your pop-up journey, it's like the Oracle of Delphi coming in.
We got our own oracle. Booyah.
Oh yeah, our own personal one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
I
dear.
do absolutely love doing this.
Me
So.
too. And you know, there's something like when you, I'm sure Squirrel must feel this at times as well. When you look at astrology on your own, like I will look at the transits and see what's going on for the coming week or the coming month, but I don't get the same inspiration that I do when I'm sharing and talking with someone else. That energy really builds. It's what I find.
It really feels like an energy exchange, whether you're doing somebody's chart or whether you're having a conversation like this or answering questions. That energy exchange, it's a lot of astrology is from your perspective. Like all of astrology, everything is from our perspective. Notice that Earth is not one of the planets. Earth is obviously a planet, but Earth is our perspective. And then it breaks down to individual perspectives. So when we're just looking at a chart by ourselves, we're only viewing it through our perspective. And our own perspectives, no matter how open minded we are, is narrow in the grand scheme of things. And we've got somebody else's energy to feel and see their perspective. Everything opens up and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it all makes sense. That's how I think is what's going on.
I love that. And Corinna says, I would like to have my chart done sometime this year. Just wondering, what is the process in this, please? Oh, Miss Squirrel's the expert on the process of that.
We are come to www.mypsychicconnection.com, and you can find me or Innerji, or I do believe we have some other astrologers, but www.mypsychicconnection.com, and there is a special place where you can sign up for a full astrology reading. So definitely do that, and we'll be happy to help you navigate. Okay.
And it is so worthwhile, you know, because we only see ourselves from the inside in terms of our perceptions, in terms of our experiences. What I find with an astrology chart and a birth chart is that you discover little pieces of magic within yourself that you didn't know were there. And you also discover, rather than talking about weaknesses or where you're not strong, it's more about what are the challenges, because we're here to challenge ourselves.
And how many times have we done a chart where somebody's like, I feel this is my greatest weakness. And we've looked at the chart and said, dude, this is your saving grace. This is your greatest strength.
Yes.
And they see it in that different light, like, wow, I didn't realize that. Like a lot of people have said to me, this holds me back. Oh, you got no business letting it hold you back. Let's use it like this. And Karina says, okay, is there communication or how is it explained? Actually, that will be on I believe it's StreamYard. Correct me if I'm wrong, Journey. We will be face to face, or you and your reader will be face to face. Your reader will be able to show your chart, explain everything to you on your chart, and you will also get a recording of it because it is mind blowing information. A full hour of it, I believe that you're not going to remember everything that's said. So you will have a recording that you can go back and look at again and again. It's face to face. So, well, as face to face as we can get with the internet.
Virtually face to face. And I have to say that your birth chart, honestly, you will go back to it years again later. Skwirl did my birth chart, what, 6-7 years ago? I can't remember now. I have a recording of that one that she did for me, and I still go back and review it in times when I'm not sure, when I'm distressed about something, or when I just need a bit of a boost, because I agree completely. You know, we're taught traditionally Saturn bad, Jupiter good, you know, malefic and benefic. And Kuna says, okay, thank you. And so what we learn is that the things, it's a bit like the tarot deck as well, devil bad, you know, 10 of cups good. And so what we learn when we're looking at it is that there's a little bit of everything in each. And what I learned from what I considered it back then when I was just learning astrology, I hadn't really completed my course, was that Skwirl pointed out to me that what I was perceiving as negative was my positive, and I have harnessed that since. So I now use my Saturn energy in a very positive way because we have free will and intention.
And
So
honestly,
thank you,
oh, you're welcome. But for everyone, where in the world we would all be laying on the beach sipping Mai Tais all the time, not making any money at all, and just getting pregnant if Saturn weren't involved in it with any
yeah,
of us.
yeah.
At least that's where I'd be.
I always say call on Saturn if you want to do something that you don't want to do, because it will give you the responsibility, it'll give you the conviction, and it will give you the discipline. So whenever I want to do something that I don't want to do, I say, come on, Saturn, I want your energy.
And I know we don't want to end the show, but it's
Wow.
the witching hour or the Saturn
Can't
hour.
believe it.
I can't believe this. I have had such a lovely time with you, Innerji, and with everybody in the audience. Thank you guys for choosing to spend an hour of your night with us. That's a big deal to me. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will say goodnight and let Innerji.
Okay, look, once again, I love the conversations here. I love everyone bringing in their questions and their comments. And I love our Oracle of Delphi popping in during the show as well with these amazing facts and inspirations. I have had such a great time, but it would be remiss of me if I didn't say, don't forget, you will see Skwirl tomorrow at 10 p.m. with Whispers from the Forest. And then at midnight, we are in the Shadows of Dreams. Now, if you think astrology is interesting, add in dream interpretation with Psychic Kay and Journey Ryan, and you've got the whole trifecta. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And mwah.
Good night, everybody. We love you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.